Welcome to the ancient Mayan ruins of Uxmal. As you can see behind me, these ruins are quite impressive, as the Uxmal is actually located in what is called the Puc region in the northern Yucatan, which also includes various routes up into Valladolid from Merida. Uxmal, to get here, you can take a bus from the Tame bus station, which is located right next to the ADO bus station. It costs about 70 pesos each way, 140 pesos in total. Bus is about an hour, hour and a half to get here. Once you get here, the sights are incredible. Uxmal, which really came to power in the 9th and the 12th centuries. It's always fascinating to find out the differences between the Mayan cultures, as Palenque, the ruins there in the jungle, were very powerful from the 7th to the 9th century, go figure. Quite fascinating to see the differences in architecture, as well as the rounded area is really what kind of fascinated me and caught my eye. You know, being to Teotihuacan in Mexico City, seeing Palenque, you have a lot of the rigid steps, kind of like these right behind me. However, this side right here is a bit curved around the edges. Very cool to see. Let's go check out some more of the history around this. This 35-meter high temple is known as the Casa del Adivino, which is of course the magician's house. I am standing right next to it. I do not see any kind of rabbits coming out of a hat. Therefore, I will be going back to ask for my money back. As you can see, I am wearing the hat for sun protection. If you are coming here, do not forget to bring sunscreen and wear a hat. I am sweating from head to toe. Luckily, you cannot see because I'm hiding it under this hat. Decorated in a style that originated much farther south in the Chenes style. This doorway is actually a mask. I must say I'm in a bit of awe at the moment, looking at the various symbols that are still in these buildings that have been restored and preserved in such a fashion. It's incredible. I mean, these people lived something like, 20 or so generations ago. Think of your grandma and your grandma's grandma, and then think 20 of those back. That's a lot of grandmas. This area in the quadrangle is known as the Juego de Pelota, or ball court. Now, just imagine the LeBron James of the Uxmal Mayans balling out on this court, passes to Kuzma, dunk smash. We stay fly, no lie, you know it's ballin'. The game they actually played was called Poc de Poc. Included a rubber ball that was actually quite large. You could only use your hips and feet to touch it, with the goal of scoring it in this ring. Now, contrary to prior belief, the sacrifices may not have actually been here in Uxmal, as they definitely were in Chichen Itza, because archaeologists have found in Chichen Itza various paintings, inscriptions on the wall of people playing the game with their heads chopped off. It's pretty good evidence. But here, there's nothing of the sort, so it is uncertain. However, if there was sacrifices, they're also not sure if it was for the loser or the winner of the ball game, as being sacrificed was known as one of the tallest and greatest honors you could possibly have in the Mayan civilization. Update, the sweat is coming down a bit quicker than initially expected. Expect more updates and wetness throughout the day. This bad boy is known as the Casa de las Tortugas, which, of course, is my favorite. The House of the Turtles. Casa de las Tortugas. In Palenque, I may have busted my drone out. I was flying for about 90 seconds before a señor came and told me, "Tú no puedes volar tu drone aquí." You can't fly your drone here. I tried to argue with him and let him know that I had no idea, there was no signs. He wanted to charge me about $350 US as a fine. I told him no señor, no gracias. And because Mexico, you can always bargain a man down. I ended up getting him down to $30. So, hey, if that's the fee that I have to pay for some great footage of Palenque, I will do it. However, I will not do that this time. I will need to ask someone if I can fly my drone because some of these shots would be just fascinating to see. And lo and behold, upon exiting from Palenque, there were signs everywhere that said you can't fly your drones. Really blew that one. Go! This palace right here, which is known as the Governor's Palace, Palacio del Gobierno, is quite possibly the most impressive of all of the monuments here at Uxmal. The archaeologists recently discovered about 150 different plants that were growing on the side of the Governor's Palace here that were medicinal, used for medicinal purposes. I think I can imagine what kind of medicinal purposes they were using that for. Is it just me, or did they really build all of these steps at such an incline? I mean, couldn't they have done a few less and just made it a little less steep? Come on, man. Lo and behold, when you ask, your prayers are answered with more steps. Oh. I was gonna wrap it up for Uxmal. I personally enjoyed it very much. The preservation that they have intact here is impressive. The scope and the grandiose of it is not as large as somewhere like Teotihuacan, where the pyramid is just incredibly large. However, I actually found this to be a bit more enjoyable. Palenque, I will say, those ruins are just fascinating because they're in the jungle. Here is more of a desert kind of landscape. Very hot, as you can tell. But overall, no, I think this is amazing. I think for the price point, it's definitely worth it. I just spent about 2 hours just roaming around, hanging out with the iguanas, and I would recommend that you do the same on your next visit to the Yucatan. Hasta luego.